Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ember, and today we are continuing our One Piece journey with Volume 35. For this chunk of the One Piece journey, we are finally at I think we're at the halfway point. Because, the first 3 box sets of One Piece contain the first 70 volumes, I believe. Now, again, originally I was going to continue past that with the 4th box set, but that got pushed all the way to January, so we'll have to take a bit of a break in between that. But as for now, this volume covers chapters 328 to 336. So this is, again, like, it starts with the discussion of how the merry-go can't be fixed because the keel is busted, and goes all the way up to where Luffy starts his fight with Frankie, and then the 4 men from the dock show up. Lot of stuff happening in this volume. I'm gonna save the big one for last, or at least I'm gonna try to. So we finally got the reveal of Frankie the cyborg. Cool looking dude. Really cool pose. I mentioned in a previous video, but the American shot putter at the Olympics did his pose and then won gold. So, such a cool, wacky, cool design. He's got a fucking... It's not a full-on pompadour, but he's got the swoosh going up on the front there. And he's a mean-looking guy. Like the little bolts in the nose. That's a fun little detail. Just really strong design. And the fucking Hawaiian shirt with the chain and the Speedo. I don't know how Oda comes up with this. It's just a great design. It just really is. I like it. And even like when he's like wearing his mask and stuff, I don't know if I can find a good picture of that, but like he just looks very imposing. And just a generally frightening kind of dude. So, oh yeah, here's the color version of it, right on the cover there. Makes him look a lot more mysterious and somehow less flamboyant, which is odd, but so yeah. I know he eventually becomes a member of the crew, but right now he's like full-on bad guy. Like he's stole 200, or one of his minions stole 200 million berries from Nami and Usopp, which was the money that they were going to use to fix or buy a new ship. So I think this is the most antagonistic that a crew member has started off as so far. I mean, Robin kind of was. Yeah, Robin was a full-on enemy when she started, but she was also not quite as, like, gung-ho about taking out the Straw Hats. So Frankie's just full-on, you guys demolished my crew and my house, I'm gonna take revenge. And that fight was so fucking satisfying. Like, because I mentioned during the Davy back fight stuff, it was like, these guys should be kicking their shit in. It's just so frustrating to not see them go all out. And just finally seeing just them unload on the Frankie family for stealing their money and kicking the shit out of Usopp. Just so cool. Just absolute badass fucking shit. Zoro's chopping fucking cannonballs. Also really cool, but like when I noticed this like checkered floor kind of tiling, that made it look like a really cool fight scene. Even Chopper's going all out. He's just in a fucking rage. Just good old fucking punch him up. And Luffy's just like, yeah, we don't fucking care about the money at this point. We're just going to kick your shit in. So, which definitely makes him stand out a bit amongst shonen protagonists. Like, Luffy is very much prone to just again, part and parcel of being a pirate, but Luffy and the gang are very much prone to just fully giving in to personal vendettas and stuff, and just being like, yeah, we're just gonna kick the shit out of you because we want to. So, I very much like that aspect of it. Then we had some more development with Robin in this volume. We don't know if it was her particularly yet, but it was the mayor gets shot, and he remembers Robin, or at least someone who looked like Robin, and then the guy who we saw Robin walking away with earlier in his house when he got shot. So supposedly Robin is involved with that. Considering the checkered past that we know she has at this point, it wouldn't be surprising. It's gonna be very interesting to see if this is turns out to be like a big misunderstanding, or if Robin actually is the not so nice lady that Aokiji says she is. Personally, I'm hoping for the latter, though knowing One Piece so far, I'm gonna guess it goes for the former. But we'll see where it goes. I won't be super disappointed if it's the former, but I would definitely prefer the latter. I would definitely prefer just Robin being a mean lady. That's a weird statement. But, yeah, so very interested in seeing where that's going. Again, and it's just creating this absolute chaos fight at the end, because Luffy's fighting Frankie, and then all of a sudden all the foremen show up, so they're going to get involved. Very interested in seeing how their powers play out, because we've only seen this dude so far, this guy who looks like Usopp, which, by the way, that was one of my favorite, I don't think I mentioned it in the previous video, but that was one of my favorite gags in the previous volume, was people mistaking that guy for Usopp. So that was fun. I don't think there are any other small details, but so I guess we can just get on to the big thing that happens in this volume, which is the fight between Luffy and Usopp, which is, again, something I kind of knew about from the few episodes I saw on when it was airing on Toonami. But yeah, so Usopp is the one who gets his shit kicked in and loses the money. So he feels bad about that and goes in to try and get the money back, and gets his shit kicked in again, which is what causes Luffy and friends to to just raid their house and kick their shit in. But that puts Usopp in a really bad place. And meanwhile, Luffy and the rest of the crew are trying to debate over whether they should give up on the merry-go or not. And I like that line from Mr. Iceberg, where he's just like, so you'd choose to sail on a dying ship? You're a pretty shit captain, huh? Which I think really sticks in Luffy's craw. That really starts to nag at him. And so eventually he decides that it's best for the crew to just give up on the merry-go and get a new ship. Now, obviously, he could have presented this idea to Usopp a little better. He could have led with the fact that the merry-go couldn't be fixed. But even after Luffy explains that, Usopp doesn't accept it. Partly because, again, it's the ship from his hometown, but also that he sees himself in this ship. This little dinghy that's just barely keeping up with everybody else. Because Usopp is not the best fighter amongst the Straw Hats. He's, he definitely helps out, but he's not, the bulk of their fighting force. And he recognizes that and that insecurity just digs its way into him now that he's going to lose the merry-go. And so eventually that just devolves into a full-on fight with Luffy. And I like that I really like the way this fight was presented, because it's like, there's no fucking way Usopp can take Luffy out, which even Luffy screams at him at the end after he just lands a few good blows on Usopp. But I like that it's very much a kind of like tricky, kind of misdirect kind of fight. Usopp really pulls out all the stops. Like, he planned this fucking fight out the whole fucking day. And he has Luffy going for a little bit, but it's also not in a way that you really think Usopp is gonna win. Because there's no way he could. Like, Usopp is never in control in the fight, but he does start off with a bit of an advantage, and I like that. And this to create, like, it pulls out all of Usopp's all the tricks we know him for, the Pepper Star and like the Fire Star and all that stuff. The gas explosion in particular was kind of cool. But in the end, Usopp leaves. But yeah, Usopp leaves the crew, loses the fight with Luffy, so he doesn't even get the merry-go in the end. Except he kind of does, because Luffy's just like, well, just get everything off the ship, because we're going to leave it behind anyway. And so we just have Usopp lying on the ship, in the nothingness. Like, there's some really cool shots on board the ship. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, just the emptiness of the merry-go after that fight. Just really good. No dialogue paneling. And really liked this bit from Zoro at the end of the fight. He's like, Luffy's like, I didn't want to have to fucking do this, and Zoro's like, well, you're the fucking captain. You had to. Now. And you have to lead us. Because if you're not sure of where you're going, then we definitely can't be sure where we're going. So, Zoro really just lays it right in his lap. He's like, sometimes you gotta do some hard shit. So, very good volume. Water 7 is definitely heading in a very interesting direction. I know Usopp comes back eventually, but first he has to go through the whole charade of not being Usopp. Again, my vague recollections of stuff that I saw on Toonami. But, very interested in seeing where all of this goes. So, that's about it for this volume. I'm going to go back to editing the video that I was editing yesterday. But be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment about what you thought. My name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.